You can't make this up. If human herpes was a person, it'd be George Zimmerman. This dude has the shelf life of a cockroach. And it seems that Karma just lost his address or something. But this jackass is actually suing Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigeig for tweets marking Trayvon Martin's birthday. I'm going to read from the article. It's from NBC News. Bear with me, people. We'll go to the top. Here we go. Heading. George Zimmerman, the former Florida neighborhood watch volunteer who was acquitted of killing 17-year-old Trayvon Martin after a racially charged trial, has filed a $265 million defamation lawsuit against two of the Democrats running for president, Senator Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg. Let me scroll down. And basically, right here, it says, she says, my heart goes out to Sabrina Fulton and Trayvon's family and friends. He should still be with us today. We need to end gun violence and racism, and we need to build a world where all of our children, especially young black boys, can grow up safe and free. And apparently him and a lawyer got their butt hurt, and they filed a lawsuit. Here we go. Pete Buttigieg's tweet says, Trayvon Martin would have been 25 today. How many 25th birthdays have been stolen from us by white supremacy, gun violence, prejudice, and fear? Like this particular tweet, I ain't too much feeling this one. I don't like when people pander and you do a distasteful job of pandering to the black vote. Okay, I can kind of understand that, but neither one they mentioned neither one of these tweets actually mentioned Zimmerman by name. But his particular Zimmerman's lawyer, Larry Klayman, founder of the conservative nonprofit Judicial Watch. In December, Klayman filed another lawsuit on behalf of Zimmerman. This one, a $100 million action lawsuit against the dead teenager's family members and others involved in the hard-fought case. So I think in the other case, he's actually suing Benjamin Crump, the family's lawyer, for $100 million. And no other details about that case actually came out. So who knows, man, what direction this thing is going to go. But I immediately went to Twitter to get the responses from other people who, I love the Malcolm X right here. When I see George Zimmerman trending and it turned out he's not dead. I think this is everybody, but it says John Fugelsang. He said George Zimmerman is a hero to everyone who wishes they could legally murder the person kicking your ass in a fight that you started. Andy Zeisler, she says, George Zimmerman is somehow always trending, and it's never because he's dead or in prison. And I, for one, am tired of this. And, of course, fuck you, George Zimmerman, you worthless sack of white supremacist trash. Sue me. Dear George Zimmerman, fuck you. Look at Boggy Creek. Why are you still a thing that exists on this planet? So, I mean, nobody's happy that this guy is still alive. And, you know, I'm just looking at this. It's like, since George Zimmerman is trending for suing Democratic candidates over their tweets, now is a good time to remind folks that he auctioned the gun that killed Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin's gun fetches $250,000. Somebody bought the gun for $250,000. Let that sink in for a minute. So, you know, I'm looking at this. Here goes John Fugelsang again. The facts are George Zimmerman called 911 on a law-abiding teen. Number two, 911 told George Zimmerman not to follow. Neighborhood watch regulations prohibit following people, which it does. You can't stalk nobody. If George Zimmerman had followed followed the rules, Trayvon Martin would be alive. George Zimmerman's a domestic abuser who assaulted a cop. And George Zimmerman's profited from the killing. You don't mind it, okay? The facts are the facts. So I'm looking at this is a reply to somebody, I guess, that's you know, protecting or, taking up for George Zimmerman. But this particular idiot said the facts of the case were that Zimmerman initially questioned Trayvon. The two went their separate ways. Trayvon, angered, understandably, then circled back, was lying in wait for Zimmerman, and then attacked him. But don't bother doing any research before tweeting the case. So, you have two sides. On one side of this debate, you got folks that think that Zimmerman ain't got enough money from this child's debt, or let me rephrase, this young man's debt. And on the other hand, you got folks like us who are wondering why this dude is still alive. Not that we want him dead. I don't want the death of anybody. But even if you are somebody who disagrees with the case, with the outcome of the case, you can't help but or that you agree with the outcome of the case, you can't disagree that this man should just fucking go the fuck away. Get a job. Do something. The one thing most Republicans, conservatives should be aiming for, the one narrative is, get off your lazy ass and get a job. Why the fuck is this? And we know the real answer, but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, so forgive me for being normal for a second. But the point that I'm making is, this guy got $250,000 for a gun that killed this man, for the murder weapon. He got it back. Number two, he's going around signing guns. Oh, this fucking goofball calling while I'm making a video. So he's signing guns. And number three rather, he's going around charging money for photographs. Okay? So the man's not hurting for money. And then I'm hearing that he's actually getting paid for speaking engagements. So Zimmerman is not hurting for money. Not by a long shot. And his lawyer ought to be ashamed of himself. This case ain't going nowhere. You don't come after no presidential candidates, and they can make a whole pariah out of you. I'm out. Peace.